And here we go, folks. The fourth quarter here. Navy is up 38-29. They have the ball to begin the fourth quarter. 3rd and 9, basically in a passing situation. But they've proven successful in passing situations before, and they continue to do so here. Young completing the pass for 12 yards. And as you can see, both quarterbacks, 3 touchdowns. Both were negative yards. Completing the pass to Joe Fagan, though. 3 catches for 39 yards. Keeps the drive alive for Navy. Handoff up the middle. That's fullback Jukes. And looks like he gained 9 yards on there. Yep. And Ward is nearly at 100 yards rushing. Now, normally I would say it's crazy that a fullback's got 100 yards rushing, but this is the Navy offense we're talking about. Triple option. So it's no surprise that he's close to 100 yards. And up to the outside. Gets leveled. Probably lost 2 yards right there. McGee with the big old hit. Yeah, lost a yard on that hit too. 3rd and 2. Playbook's completely open for Navy though. So what are they going to choose to do here? Counterplay. As I say before, counterplays are counterproductive, and they just lost a yard. It's 4th and 3, and odds are they will choose to punt the ball away with Temple having the momentum. This game went from being, well, that's in the books, to, wait a minute, hold on now. He waits for a fair catch. And he's inside his own 5 at the 4-yard line, I want to say. Yeah, down at the 4. Not a good place to start a drive. Going out of 5 formation though. Handoff. Uh-oh. Andrew Sampson appeared to have injured his elbow. So that's probably why Johnson didn't gain a yard, is because he had an injured offensive lineman. It looks like he lost a little bit of a yard. Of that yard. Quick. Oh, that hurts. The 4th pick of the game, and Navy is just full on celebrating on Temple's sideline too, and they are going to get flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct, and that's Rogers' 3rd pick of the game. Yeah, personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct. So it's 1st and 10 at the 34 instead of 1st and 10 at the 29. But that just brought the momentum back to Navy. Handoff up the middle. Oh, wow. Bosk just got in there and took down Ward for a 2-yard loss. Now, could Navy trust their kicker from this far out? Go around the outside. Almost get the 1st down out of it, though. Preston breaks out an 11-yard run, which makes this now 3rd and 1. Navy has to convert to keep that momentum going. I mean, with how close it is, they could just do a quarterback sneak. But oh, he got knocked forward for the first down. Mooney with a 2-yard gain. They are definitely in their kicker's wheelhouse. Temple, after showing such brilliance beforehand. I mean, 1-yard run right there. So it's 2nd and 9. If they can just somehow be able to force another turnover on Navy and then score, they can have a chance. Hand off up the middle. Kind of put them in a passing situation. It's 3rd and 7 now. But yeah, you see that 31 minutes of possession. And I've got this set to the full length quarter, so they've already won the time of possession. Third and 7. 11 minutes left. They're passing the ball here. Stepping up. Back foot throw. It's incomplete. But they're going to settle for the field goal, I believe, to make this a 12-point ball game. Yep, they're having Noel line up for the field goal. Kick is up and kick is good. Now it's 41-29. Oh, and that field goal gave Navy all the moment. So that just tells you how important scoring in the 4th quarter is. And Navy kicks off. And the kick's not even going to be returned. So Temple now has 80 yards to go. The question is, are they sticking with... Yeah, they're sticking with Ty Lane right now, under center. 4 interceptions, 3 of them to Rogers. It's a designed quarterback run. Wow. Didn't expect that out of the playbook for Navy. Not Navy, Temple. But, wow. Got everybody off guard, including me, because he was able to gain 4 yards out of that. Steps back. Throws it deep. Ooh. That got tipped by Goddard. 3rd and 6. I mean, I understand heaving it deep. You want to take away as much of Navy's momentum as you can. Possibly even score. You have 10.5 minutes left in the game. Was that a designed quarterback run? Game's calling that a sack. I mean, why would you try to run and scramble on a 3rd and 6 when you're behind in the 4th quarter? Navy punts. Well, Navy gets the ball punted to them again. As Navy can just let the clock run out, essentially. 10 minutes. Light work. They can just run, gain like 4 yards here, 4 yards there. Possibly going to cause me to fall asleep. Because it's 10 o'clock here now. Run the counter play. And gain 2 yards out of it. Oops, sorry. But yeah. Just focus on keeping the clock moving. Because you have the lead. It's a 2-possession game. You know they have to stop you. And Ward is not one to be brought down easily. He is, as of right now, over 100 yards now at 101 yards. Took 31 attempts, but he's over 100 yards. 3rd down and 3. Basically the whole playbook's open. Wow. Went for a run right up the middle. Got stuffed by Bosk, too. Bosk is one of those key players for Temple, but he hadn't had much of an impact as they would have liked. But to them, that don't matter, because, hey, he came up big right there. Caught at the 10. Trying to run around the outside. Probably got up to like 20-yard line, I want to say. $21-yard line. Okay. But yeah, I think since they finally got their reverse fake thing to work, even so slightly, that they're not doing it anymore. Play action out of the backfield to the fullback. See, a kind of pass like that on 1st down is acceptable. A 4-yard gain right there. But now it's kind of not the time to be trying to do your little dimes and to just nickel and dime it down the field. You gotta try to get one good throw around the, and you try to do a reverse and you lose a little bit of yardage off of that. Which, honestly, like, why you gotta try to pull a reverse, again, when you're behind, and you know the clock is currently against you. 2 for 13 on 3rd downs. Steps back, waits, throws it deep, and we got holding on Temple. Navy declines it, which is smart of them to do because now we have 7 minutes 54 seconds left in the 4th quarter. As Craig's out to punt for the 10th time today. There's still a chance though. Craig punts it deep, caught, and drug out like around the 22-yard line. If you're Temple, you wish you had the unlimited timeouts cheat on you. That way you can just call timeout after timeout after timeout, just so that way you can have as much time as possible. Oh wow, they decided to go with like a reverse and they lose 3 yards. That's good if you're Temple because they lose yards, you force them to punt. That means you're more likely going to have even better field. Now, when we get to like some of the other key games like Georgia and Oklahoma State and Mickey and Boston College, where we got like the high 80s and stuff. It's going to be a big old drastic change. But as you can see, they go with another run. They can continue to run all they want, gain 2 yards, because they have the lead. They don't really have to focus on scoring as much as Temple does, because Temple needs to score. They're choosing the pass, and they got the first down. Kind of surprises me a bit, considering the fact, like I said, they have the lead. They could just choose to melt the clock. As the pass was completed there to Vogelpaul, who now has 131 yards, but only 2 yards after the catch. A run up the middle, 4-yard gain there. Oh, sorry about that. As that clock is just ticking on down. That clock is Navy's best friend and Temple's worst enemy. And it becomes even more of Temple's worst enemy when you keep allowing first downs. A 12-yard gain by Ward, who has 119 yards now. A 105 plays ran by Navy. This is something that you should definitely be aware of when going up against Navy. It's the sheer number of plays they can be able to run. Ward only gets a yard, but Navy doesn't mind. You know why? That clock is their best friend. That's probably going to be like the quickest quarter I've done. A counter play goes for 2 yards. 4 yards. Wow. But that clock is just going tick, 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 tick. Helping out Navy. Oh, why did they run it here again? Nope, they're passing it. And it's caught. In a sea of red jerseys, that pass got caught. Ooh, number 1. Okay, Joe Vagan caught that for 23 yards. But number 1 for Temple could have easily have had a pick. And if he picked that off, that would have probably swung momentum back over in favor of Temple. Less than 5 minutes now. Oh, a fumble by Navy this late into the game? Could be that turning point that Temple really needs. Or is Navy going to challenge the fumble? Navy is not going to challenge the fumble. So Temple needs to score and score quick. You are down by 12. Play action. Throw to the tight end out of the backfield. Who coughs up the ball himself. And that is the 8th turnover by the Owls. And we will get another unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Navy. So now they're going to have it at Temple's 35 instead of Temple's 20. Well, 34 instead of 19, but still. A little bit of back and forth here. As Ward gains another 3 yards, and now he's over 120 yards of the day. 2nd and 7. That clock is still being Navy's friend. As Mooney gets tackled for no yards. But that clock's still benefiting them. I believe they're in field goal range too. Now I did put the field goal accuracy at 50. So a missed field goal could do wonders here. Or they can get a first down. As Mooney is at 69 yards on 25 attempts. As Navy just seemed to be able to convert the third downs a lot better than Temple. That's been the biggest thing for this game, is the fact that Navy has kept countless drives alive by converting on third downs. And that's kind of what put Temple behind, along with those 6 turnovers in the first half. Third and 8 now. Yeah, Navy's understanding how big a friend the clock is. But yet they choose to throw the ball. Joe Fagan, a reliable target this entire game, dropped the pass. But they know the clock is their friend right now. They let the play clock tick down to as low as it could go. I mean, look at that, 13 for 29 on third down conversions. Step back. Hit as he throws. Why are you throwing when you know the clock's your friend? Hell, you've got nearly 38 minutes of possession. They're going to go for another... Yeah, they're going to go for the field goal here. Make it a 15-point game. Still 2 possessions. And we saw Temple score 15 points. But is that field goal too little, too late for the Owls? Well, is that the dagger in the heart of Temple? And Temple is going to start off 0-1. Less than 3 minutes to score 15 points. So they gotta score a touchdown, choose to either kick the extra point or go for 2. If they go for 2, hope to convert the 2-point conversion, get an onside kick, recover it, score again, and just to at least tie it, go with the opposite option of what you chose the first time around. And again, if you go for 2, you have to make it. Quick throw. Too quick of a throw. Yeah, 22 for 43, 3 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. I mean, the 3 touchdowns have kind of helped make it look like a better passing day than it was. But you take a look at what he did in the first half. Just 3 straight interceptions. Well, 3 interceptions, no touchdowns. And that's the dagger right there. The fans know it. They're getting up and leaving. That's just heartbreaking, though. Volley just sits there and just snatches it right out of the air. If I'm Navy, I'm just running. I don't care. Just melt as much of the clock as you can, knowing whatever you do is going to end up being a 3-possession game now. As long as you don't turn the ball over yourself. Young gets a nice 5-yard gain there. But yeah, as long as they don't turn the ball over, they can be able to just go ahead and walk away with win number 1 of the year. And 5 more from being potentially bowl eligible. Take the clock down to 3 seconds. It doesn't matter really. Yeah, Smith was the guy that could have had that pick earlier, that could have really changed the momentum here in the 4th quarter. But Navy already knows they have the game won. They're just letting the clock tick down. If they choose to pass it here, I highly question what their coach is thinking. Oh well. Try to do the option. And now Temple calls timeout. As Noel's going to line up for his 4th field goal of the game. He's made all 3 before. Kick is up. And the kick is good. And it is now an 18-point ball game. So now, Temple needs to somehow score quickly, go for 2, get the 2-point conversion, kick an onside kick, recover it, score quickly again, go for 2 again, recover the onside kick again, and then get close enough to line up for a field goal, so with their kicker's rating, you might as well just score another touchdown. So let's see if Temple can pull off the impossible of impossibles. And the pass gets dropped by Hampton. Lane's staying in right now. Makes sense. You don't want to break out your backup, put him in a situation like this. Yeah, key players of the game. For Temple, it's Fox, and for Navy, it's Rogers. And the ball gets coughed up, recovered by Temple, but by the looks of their sense of urgency, they are just accepting fate. Game is over. Minute left on the clock. They're still probably going to try to show some fight, try to make the score look better. And by doing so, it gets picked off for the 6th time today. And yeah, that is basically the end of the game. Maybe it's probably going to run 1, maybe 2 plays. You know. Handoff. And the fullback just couldn't break out of it. Didn't gain a yard, but didn't lose a yard either. So, heading into the final seconds, all Navy really has to do is just snap the ball. And they'll probably wait until like around 25 seconds or so to snap it. Nope, they're just going to go ahead And this is what we call running up the score. That, I say, was uncalled for. Because you're already winning. You already have the game in hand. You're just going to go up there and score just like that. Now, yeah, with me using the Bobcats, I'll run up the score a bit as well, but that's because that's like right now, the Bobcats are ranked worst in the nation. Here, you're running the score on a team that, if all three real teams were still in, would be second to last in the nation. Like, seriously. I think Navy just put themselves into a key game next week. Especially if they're going against a better ranked opponent. Don't know if I want to actually air that one, because of the fact that Navy just decided, for the heck of it, just to run up the score. You know? Like, why are you going to score when you already had the game in hand? Final score could have easily just been 47-29. You winning by 18. We all would have gone home. But nope. Navy decided to drag this out a bit further. And did Navy really call a timeout? Navy is being extremely petty here. Yeah, Navy's calling timeouts. They are being petty right now. Oh, I thought Navy was calling timeouts. Temple probably called the timeout. But that is the end of the game. Navy wins it 54-29. Personally, if I'm that coach, I'd talk to the other one about what was with that run at the end of the game. It wasn't needed. Of course, players are showing sportsmanship a bit. And that is the end of the game. And we will go ahead and just do a little brief rundown for the stats. Navy had 28 first downs compared to Temple's 13. 537 offensive yards for Navy versus 368 for Temple. All but 2 of their yards came through the air for Temple. Meanwhile, Navy had 227 yards, which was expected. Although what surprises me is the fact that they had 17 more rushing yards than passing yards. Navy only got sacked twice compared to 6 times for Temple. And this was one of the big differences. Navy went 13 for 31 on third downs, while Temple went 2 for 15. Not a good percentage. 1 for 2 on fourth downs, but they did convert a 2-point conversion. And Temple turned the ball over 10 times, while Navy only turned it over 4 times. Temple lost 4 fumbles compared to the 2 that Navy lost. And Navy only threw 2 interceptions compared to the 6 that Temple threw. And penalties didn't really matter, but Navy nearly had 2/3 of the clock. Once Navy got the lead, they knew they had the game wrapped up, essentially. Some key moments for the scoring, I'd have to say, were the 2 touchdowns Navy had, the pick 6 by Rogers and the fumble recovery by Rogers as well. And then Temple's 98-yard kick return. That 70-yard pass that started things off for Temple in the third quarter. And the field goal that kind of started to slowly put the nail in the coffin. But yeah, that touchdown was unnecessary though. And for my key 3 players for each side, I'd have to say, I mean, granted, he did throw 6 interceptions, but one of them would have to be Ty Lane because he did throw 3 touchdowns. Kyle Fox, who had 5 catches for 134 yards and 2 touchdowns. Actually, I'm replacing Lane with Brian McDuffie. 19 tackles, 4 of them for a loss and a pick. And Taylor Thomas, who had 150 yards on 3 kick returns. But he did have that touchdown that started the scoring drive. And did he actually do anything in the receiving game? Yeah. He had 5 catches for 39 yards. Now for Navy, Kyle Young is going to be one of my key players for them because 18 for 31, 260 yards, 3 touchdowns. Sure, he threw 2 picks, and he had negative 11 yards on 5 rushing attempts, but that was about it. Lamont Ward is going to be another one. 120, well, no. Ward, I'm making it Ronnie Vogelpohl. 8 catches, 131 yards, and a touchdown. And the last one is Walter Rogers. 8 tackles, 3 picks, 2 pass deflections, and a fumble recovery for 2 touchdowns. For some reason, they won't want to credit him with the other one. But yeah. And that is the end of the game. Let's see what the game says are the key players. Yeah, Fox, they say Duffy with 19 tackles, and McGee with 15 tackles, and Rogers, Goddard, and Noel. And considering the game took so long for me to actually do, this will be the official record, but I will have this game go on again in the background, and if Navy wins, then it counts in the universe still. But until then, I'll see y'all next time, and hopefully the key game won't take this long.